Welcome into Giants Postgame Live, presented by Moderna. My name is Madelyn, Burke, alongside the Super Bowl champ Shaun, the Super Bowl champ Cruz. The Giants went down to the nation's capital, got a win against the Commanders.
Here we go.
Vitamin W, 31-19 is the final score, of course. Locked in and secured by that Isaiah Simmons pick six, which you called as we were watching, Shaun, but the defense was such a key for this win.
Yeah, Sam Howell's going to throw it up there. You know he's going to give you opportunities. And how about this defense? Unbelievable job by them, creating 6 turnovers. Of course, one was on special teams, but that was the name of the game. Get the ball. They punched it out. Bobby Okereke, 2 forced fumbles, had a couple of picks. Probably should have had more. Trey Hawkins dropped a couple. Exactly. But when you look at the way this defense responded after giving up 49 points the week before against Dallas, this is a Washington offense that scored 26 on the road against Seattle. Sam Howell came into this game leading the NFL in passing, and on a 3-game heater, he threw for over 300 yards passing in 3 consecutive games. So this Giants defense did a great job. They harassed him. They got a bunch of sacks. Kayvon Thibodeau with 2 in this game. Can't say enough about this defense. And look, they were questioned. This whole team was questioned all week long. How are you guys going to handle this? Are you guys fragmenting? There was 0 fragmentation by this team. You could see they showed up to play, and the defense certainly deserves a game ball for this one.
Well, and while the defense was the point of emphasis here, the offense looked great. Tommy DeVito really opening it up. He becomes the first Giants quarterback to throw 5 touchdown passes in his first 2 starts.
All right, TD.
And today, not just the 3 touchdown passes that he threw, but the long plays, Victor. He had 5 plays of over 20 passing yards. 2 of those were touchdowns. How much does that open up the offense?
Incredible. And shout out to TD, Jersey guy. Obviously, you always want to see those guys win. His junior, senior year of high school, he was out there throwing balls to me when I needed a guy to throw to in the area. So it's good to see him here at home doing his thing. But this offense was incredible. I mean, Tommy DeVito obviously understanding his role, and they kind of let him throw. They kind of took the chains off him a little bit and let him throw the ball downfield, see what he can do. Obviously, Saquon Barkley was a story for me. 81 rushing yards in the second half, 57 receiving yards, 2 tutties. Like, he understood his assignment. He was leading the way for this offense. But as a receiver, you see your quarterback out there throwing the ball downfield, giving you opportunities to make plays. You come into those games, every series, you're confident. You understand you got a chance to make a big play for this football team, and Tommy DeVito was doing that every series of this game.
He absolutely was, especially while he was getting sacked, too. 9 sacks on Tommy DeVito. This is the first time the Giants have won a game being sacked 8 or more times. But you know what? Tommy DeVito evaded the pressure. He wasn't the only one getting sacked, though. The Giants had some pressure on the quarterback as well. Let's throw it down to the field for more as Paul Dottino is with Dexter Lawrence.
Dexter, it's probably only fitting that the defense would be on the field last to solidify this victory.
You know, we always want it in our hands, and, you know, me being a competitor and love playing under pressure, you know, I just want to be on the field and try to get the win for my team.
The pressure, the turnovers, 6 takeaways, handful of sacks. Could have been any better for this D?
Yeah, we couldn't have let them score 19 points.
The sealer by Simmons. What's the feeling of elation, knowing how badly you guys wanted to win, to see him take it to the end zone?
We needed that, just to, you know, have the team morale come back up a little bit and grow from, and we got to grow from that.
Thanks, Lawrence. Appreciate your time.
Yep.
And of course, the player interviews are brought to you by your local Ford stores. Ford is proud to be the official truck of the New York Giants. One of the things I love about that interview, though, is, as you guys pointed out, too, you can see Dexter Lawrence's jersey just all sorts of rumpled up right there. As we take a look at his numbers, you can tell he's putting in work.
Yeah, no doubt. And he had another big game. You could see the pressures right there. One of the interceptions, he actually hit Sam Howell's hand as he threw the ball. He was constantly in the backfield. He had a number of quarterback hits. He had a monster game against Washington earlier this season. And actually, it was Nick Gates he was going against. After that game, Nick Gates got benched. So I know Dexter was looking forward to playing the Washington Commanders again.
Absolutely.
It was just good to see our leaders showing up today. And Dexter Lawrence, Saquon Barkley, those guys understood that they had to raise their level of play. Yeah. And you saw it, that energy was just translated throughout the entire team.
It was such a get-right game, too, for this Giants defense, because the last couple of weeks, it seemed like they had lost a little bit of their momentum that they were building towards the midpoint of the season. This week, they're getting that pressure on the quarterback. Of course, Sam Howell, the league-leading passer in terms of yards, and also the most pressured and sacked quarterback in the league, somebody that was a favorable opponent for this defense.
Yeah, I knew that they were going to come into this game saying, look, first of all, we got to stop the run, slow it down. You want to put Sam Howell, you know, put the ball in his hands, which they like to do. Look, nobody's thrown more passes in the NFL than Sam Howell. So that was going to be a big part of this game. I feel like they did a great job controlling the line of scrimmage, and the defensive line played great. But again, Micah McFadden with another great game. Bobby Okereke really stepped up. He had 2 forced fumbles where he punched the ball out. Those are big plays, and you could see the momentum. Every time Washington started to get a little drive going, the Giants forced some sort of turnover, and the momentum just swung back on the other side. Shout out to the special teams, too, for creating a turnover. Yeah. Cordell Flott, I think it was, that punched that out. That's huge. And you know what? Look, when all three phases are contributing, this is how you come away with a victory on the road.
Yeah, it's complementary football. I think today was the first week where we saw complementary football from all three sides of the ball, everybody playing to the best of their ability, understanding their roles, creating turnovers, coming out there and being confident. I mean, it was fun to watch. Each and every series, we were just there smiling, excited for the plays that were happening. It was just good to see this Giants team kind of come to life and give us something positive to talk about after the game.
31-19 is the final score out in Washington as the Giants get their third win of the season. But we've got much more to talk about here on Giants Postgame Live. First, I want to remind you all, though, that guests of the Postgame show receive a gift certificate to Ben & Jack's, located on 44th Street in Manhattan. From the celebrated porterhouse to finer seafood, Ben & Jack's will surpass your expectations of what a steakhouse should be. Coming up after the break, let's get some steaks. But we're going to hear from head coach Brian Daboll. That and much more as Giants Postgame Live, presented by Moderna, rolls on after this. Stay with us. Scoring drive of the game is brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the New York Giants. Citizens is made ready for Giants fans. With scoring drive of the game, we bring you to the second quarter. It was 6 plays, 62 yards, took 2 minutes and 45 seconds off the clock, capped off by a 40-yard touchdown reception by Darius Slayton, put the Giants up 14-3 early on in the game. Second touchdown of the game for these New York Football Giants. And they were really passing the ball a lot in that first half. They had a touchdown in the first quarter, that Saquon Barkley 24-yard receiving touchdown from Tommy DeVito. The first time this season they had scored a touchdown in the first quarter. Getting these touchdowns, getting these long touchdowns, we talked about it a little bit in that first block, but Shaun, you know, when you get these big chunk plays in this offense, how much does it change the identity of the offense?
Well, it adds a lot of excitement, certainly, and then when you start to get those big plays, also the defense starts to back off a little bit. So it kind of opens up the run game a little bit when you start getting those explosive plays, because now they're worried, all right, we're going to give up another big one. Hey, let's drop another safety back out, or maybe you don't get a 7-man box, now it's a 6-man box. So it definitely opens things up. But I think most importantly, when you have receivers that are making plays like that, like Slayton on that touchdown, he catches the ball and then he gives him a little stanky leg, right? And then he hits him with the speed burst. So it builds the confidence of the quarterback. Now all of a sudden, hey, I trust these guys. I'm going to throw the ball up there. When they're making these catches, kind of makes you as a quarterback say, you know what, I'm going to give them another shot at it. They're making me look good.
Well, it's helpful too in a game in which the running game wasn't going. I mean, they had 0 rushing yards in the third quarter. The Giants had 0 total rushing yards, and to be able to pass the ball effectively is a benefit.
Yeah, you got to give a little credit to Washington. They understood the line of scrimmage and they won that battle on the rushing side of things early on in the football game. But you understood that no matter how many times we were sacked, no matter how many times Tommy DeVito was picking himself up off the ground, how many times have we seen this team face adversity and kind of crumble and kind of get down on themselves and not have this type of performance, this kind of resiliency that we've seen from this team? I think this was the first week where we saw this team kind of pick themselves up and say, okay, we're ready. You know, dust themselves off and say, we still have something to prove. We still know we can make plays. And that's just the confidence in the football team, playing complementary football across all phases. And I was just happy those guys were able to pick themselves up in times of adversity and come through the other side.
Let me just say this. As an offensive lineman, it's tough. I wince every single time I see a sack. And it was over and over and over again. And this is without Montez Sweat and without Chase Young. So definitely a tough day for DeVito. Apparently DeVito was Italian for piñata, because that's what was happening out there on the field. But I will say this about DeVito. I would much rather take all those sacks than have any interceptions, and he had none. He didn't turn the ball over, and I think that's, look, you can live with sacks, you can punt the ball, but turnovers are so costly. The fact that he's taking care of the football, that's kudos to him.
And that speaks to who he is as a person, as a character, as an athlete as well, to be able to get up and not blame anybody, point any fingers, get up, coach, what's the next play, and execute.
Absolutely. 9 sacks on the day, 5 of which in the first quarter. But Tommy Toughness over there coming through. This was a celebration, and I like it. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it going. We got a lot more to come on the show. Stay with us here on Giants Postgame Live. Giants fans, limited tickets are available for the remaining Giants home games at MetLife Stadium. Visit giants.com/tickets to find your game and secure your seat today. After the break, head coach Brian Daboll and more. Stay with us.
blue.
Jersey.
Dang, it's a big dub.
Good Giants win, man. We back at it, getting dubs, feeling good. Let's keep this thing rolling.
Hey, baby, it's been a long, hard-fought season, but we're going to keep it going, man. This one win, I appreciate y'all for rocking with us, but we got to keep stacking them, man, on the next week. Love y'all. Go Big Blue.
Very enthusiastic Saquon Barkley, Tommy DeVito, Xavier McKinney, and Kayvon Thibodeau after the Giants' 31-19 win out in Washington, their third win of the season. For more recap, let's send it down to the podium where head coach Brian Daboll is addressing the media.
All right, what are we doing? What we got?
Your quarterback threw 3 touchdown passes and didn't allow a turnover, getting sacked 9 times. Which is the better one of those 2 things for you?
Winning.
What did you think of not just how Tommy played, but how he handled the pressure, how he handled getting the ball, but what about the whole his rival?
Yeah, I said during the week he's improving. Did a lot of good things. Did some stuff we'll correct. Gave us a chance.
How much do you think he grew today, in your opinion?
I think he's the same height.
I don't mean that, you know.
Oh no, yeah. Look, there's some good stuff that he did. Made some good plays. Thought Kafka called a good game. Some wide open guys. The Bellinger, the Slayton, the 3rd and inches call. So those help. And he did a good job. When we got behind the sticks, that was when it was tough. So clean up some of those those things that where we got sacked. Maybe we could not get sacked because I thought the line protected, a lot of those pretty well.
Dave, how much did you guys need a game like this where you come out on the winning end?
Yeah, it's always good to win. Yep. So preparation, normal. Practicing, normal. I know you asked about that the other day. But put it together. Defense, special teams had 6 turnovers, capitalized on a few of those, hit some good big plays, good play designs, I thought. Finished the game, made it probably tougher than we had to. But it was good to get a win.
How much does it help the morale, though? How much does it help the morale to win a game like that, though? Because, we've talked about it the past few weeks, the frustration we were seeing it at times. When you're able to win like that, how much does this, help?
Yeah, winning's good. Losing's not.
Brian, when you look at your defense, 2 of your bigger players, Dex had a big game, Kayvon had a big game. What did you see without looking at tape? What did you see?
Sure. They've been pretty consistent throughout the year. Dexter's, what you get out of Dexter. He's an exceptional player in this league at his position, right at the top, and he's provided that each week. I thought Kayvon did some good stuff. We want that play back where we got hands to the face at the end of the game. But again, it's credit to Wink and to the players. They've been putting in a lot of hard work. Coaches have, the players have. We just, we put it together the right way today and try to build off of it.
Brian, what did it take to get Tommy from the player who made his debut just a couple weeks ago against the Jets in that game to the guy who was throwing the ball around the field?
Well, the Jet game was different. So we were playing it a certain way. So I think he's made progress. I think Shea's an exceptional quarterback coach. Tommy has put the work in, but it takes all 11 guys out there on the field, and he's had some production. I think he's improved. We're going to have to. We still got a ways to go here, but he's got the right mindset. I think the players have confidence in him, particularly because he's the 3rd, quarterback going in, and they got some. He's got a little juice about him that I think the players respect. But we'll go back. We'll learn from the stuff that we can do better, and try to put another one together.
What changed with the running game? I mean, you guys had nothing, literally nothing, till the last play of the 3rd quarter.
Blocked them better. I thought the big play that Saquon had, when you go back and watch it, just watch little Wan'Dale Robinson. He was the guy that kind of sprung the whole play.
Was that the pitch out?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you change some of the things? Did you do some of the runs, to maybe get to the perimeter a little more?
Yeah. I mean, we ran a couple plays early that were outside plays, not necessarily toss plays, that they did a good job defending. And then we adjusted like we normally do. It's not just at halftime. We talked about it throughout the series. And they got 2 good guys inside. They played good. They it's not always going to be perfect in the run game. And it wasn't very much good in the first half. But again, I thought we tried to mix it up and stay with it, and we hit a couple plays.
Coach, for Tommy to stand in there and do what he did, though, today and endure the 9 sacks along with it, I mean, can you just talk a little bit about that and how that didn't affect him too much?
Yeah, well, he's tough. He's a tough guy. Again, we don't want to – you have those many sacks, and they weren't all on the offensive line. I'll tell you that right now. We could have done some things better. But we did a good job of sometimes capitalizing on them in terms of getting backed up. But a lot of times we had to punt the ball because we got behind the sticks. But he's a tough-minded guy, instinctive. He's an instinctive player, which is hard to coach too. So even like that first third down where he threw it to Slayton, if you go back, you just get a little pump fake to get him to open up the window. And he had another big one. We had an opportunity at the end of 2 minutes to keep the drive going that we just didn't quite finish. But he did some good stuff.
You mentioned his, the juice and the idea that players respect him.
From Jersey, man.
I know. Is that a tangible thing that you can see, even going back to when he was trying to work his way up the depth chart? The idea that if we put this guy in, we know what we're going to get.
Yeah, I mean, I was asked a fair amount of questions about bringing in some older guys, and we thought this guy was a good young player to work with. Again, he's played 2.5 games, so there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but he certainly has put the work in. And when he was out on the look team in practice, you could see some of his instinctiveness, even though as a show team quarterback, in terms of throwing the ball on time, anticipation. So thought he'd be a good player to work with and give an opportunity to. And he, there's a lot of things he did good, and a lot of things we can help him improve on.
You don't have update on Slayton?
I don't have Slayton arm, flat ejected. That's my notes.
So that was my next question: was what happened on that melee there? What would you take on that? There was no whistle. They ruled it a touchdown.
They came over and told me that 4 and 28 are out. They were throwing punches. They said they were throwing punches, is what they told me.
I presume you gave Tommy a game ball after. Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So just follow up. What did you say to him after? Just what did you say to him after the game? It's a really special moment for a kid. You know what I mean? Like,
DeVito?
Yeah. Is there anything you said to him after the game about
Yeah, she said good job. Yeah, she said good job. Said good job to the whole team. It was a team win. 6 turnovers. Didn't turn the ball over offensively. We're pretty efficient, effective in the passing game. Obviously, we had the sacks. Stuck with the running game. Thought the coordinators did a good job. Got a turnover on special teams. That's included with the 6. So team win, and certainly proud of Tommy. It's a tough position to play, and he's just got a really good mindset. Now we're going to have to go back and fix things like we normally do, whether it's a win or a loss. But I'm proud of him for all the work that he does put in. That he puts a lot of work into it.
How much have you after the last couple of results? Does that make it more difficult for a team to play with this much pride? And what do you think accounts for how much pride you guys played with today, starting with the turnovers?
Yeah, I don't question our pride. I'm just happy for the players, for the coaches, because they do the right stuff during the week. They practice their tails off. They prepare. They study extra. There's extra meetings going on. They come in with a positive attitude when it's not always easy to come in with a positive attitude. And they have their next play mentality. So, to see them have success, to see the coaches, all the hard work that they put into it. That's why you do this, is to try to win one game each week. So we'll enjoy this one. I'm proud of the people that are in the building that work hard. But now we'll move on to the next one here pretty shortly.
Coach, you played against the Commanders a couple of weeks ago. It was a lower scoring game. Do you consider this easier or harder, and what changes were made or what adjustments were made?
Yeah, there's no easy in this league. It's a tough league. It's a humbling league. And they have a team that competes hard with a lot of good players, good coaches. And I thought we competed well. Look, there's always little things that you fix and tweak and game plan for. Then you get a feel for how the game's going. Usually takes about a quarter to go ahead and decide exactly what you want to do. There's plays that we left out there, extended some drives, missed some short fields or shorter fields. But again, I'm happy for the players and the coaches for their work ethic, their commitment, staying on track, trying not to ride the roller coaster. Just trying to put one foot in front of the other and get better every day and try to win a game.
What did you think about your defense's performance? The last 2 games, I think if you asked them, they probably would say it wasn't up to their expectations. So what did you see from them today?
Yeah, got the ball. So, to get the ball 5 times and then 1 on special teams, that's hard to do in this league. They flew around. They play with effort. They made some timely plays too for us. Obviously, like to do a little bit better job at the end there. But again, they're tough-minded competitors, and I thought this week, again, not much different than last week. It was a good week last week too, but translate it to on-field performance this week is what you're trying to do every week.
Last one.
With the sacks.
I'll get you.
With the sacks, obviously.
Which sacks?
Oh,
the sacks that they sacked us on?
That they sacked you on. I know that, there was certainly a handful that looked like, had DeVito gotten rid of the ball and maybe he was holding it a little too long, taking the sacks himself. Is that almost, what you like about him, his best quality is the idea he wants to attack, he's not afraid, but also with that comes the idea that, you got to know when to fold him, basically.
Yeah, and look, this is his second game, really, called throwing the ball. Stuff to work on, but, he's a competitive young man. So I'm happy for him, but I'm happy for, the entire team for the result. But, their pride, or their work ethic, their commitment, those guys do a good job of that each week.
I was just going to ask you,
Yeah.
Kayvon is kind of a lightning rod. He takes a lot of heat, but he seems to make
does?
some plays. I don't know if you've seen that or not, but he is. Well, you don't listen to the outside world. The outside world,
okay,
is after him a little bit. So because of whatever it's the sack numbers, but he did a few things today that were not maybe on the score sheet. Is that indicative of some of the stuff that you getting out of him? And
yeah, I'm glad we have Kayvon. He's a true competitor, a great teammate, productive player for us, and I'm happy he's on our team.
All right, Dave.
All good?
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
We know when he's ready.
And that was Giants head coach Brian Daboll. Giants fans, check out the Coach Daboll Show presented by Ford. We'll look back at today's game and take a look ahead at next week's matchup. It's the Coach Daboll Show, airing every week on MSG Networks and on the Giants YouTube channel. We've got much more to come here, though, on Giants Postgame Live. After the break, we'll hear from quarterback Tommy DeVito. That and more on Giants Postgame Live, presented by Moderna. Stay with us. We'll be back after this. Time now for the HCL Player of the Game, presented by HCL Tech, supercharging progress. The official digital transformation partner of the New York Giants. Player of the Game, of course, is one quarterback Tommy DeVito, getting his second career start today in Washington. The Giants get the 31-19 win. DeVito goes 18 for 26, 246 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions, despite getting sacked 9 times. Is 137.7 passer rating, the highest QBR of the season for the New York Football
Giants. He's a tough
Giants.
guy, that guy. He's a tough guy.
Tommy Toughness indeed. And Tommy Toughness is at the podium speaking to the media out in Washington. Let's send it down.
just describe the day today. And obviously last week was probably pretty frustrating. And this is your first win as a starting quarterback in the league. What does that mean?
It means a lot. I think it means a lot just for this team, right? Not the season we wanted this far, but to just come back in week after week and just keep continuing just to work and study and practice hard, and just after the last couple weeks just not getting the result we wanted, just to have that feeling in this game and get the result that we wanted in the end, it means a lot. We're going to enjoy it. We're going to celebrate it, but we know what it takes. We have what it takes. So Monday we're just going to be back to the drawing board and then move on to next week.
Tommy, what's allowed you to go from the guy who made his debut against the Jets a couple of weeks ago to the guy who threw 3 touchdown passes and was really in control and won this game for the Giants today?
It's been my same preparation, same deal every week in and a week out, but just being more comfortable. I guess just more reps, being in more different situations and being in those already in the past few games. So if I was in those situations today, it was I've done it already. So
What kind of a hand has the coaching staff, I guess, had?
a lot. They've had a lot of trust in me. They make that known. So when they're calling plays that they're going to let me go out and do what I do. There's no handcuffs. There's none of that. So I appreciate them for that, and they just continue just to try to feed me more, just get me better every week, and hold me to a high standard as I do myself.
Can you describe what it's like on a day like today where you just you were in rhythm, you know, and you had some great play calls, obviously with Bellinger there with the play action with Wandell coming in. What is it like when it's going that way for you? Because you haven't had that yet.
It's fun. I'll tell you, like when things are going right and you feel like they're going right, it's a lot of fun. It feels like you're just enjoying it and playing the game of football like you were when you were a kid. It's easy to get away from that when things aren't going, good. But like I said, great play calls by CAF, great execution by everybody on, the offense, and the defense and special teams held their own, and some had a tremendous day, so that made our job easier.
What did you make of that play in particular, that to Bellinger? I mean, that just seemed like that was the perfect spot to call that. It was just seemed everything just was in sync. Yeah.
As soon as they gave me the wristband number and I looked at it and saw what it was, I was like, yeah, we've had that one drawn up for a little while. Just been waiting, pulling the trigger for the right moment, and there it was, and perfect execution by everybody else on it, and it's a good play.
Even going back.
That was Giants quarterback Tommy DeVito. As we take a look at the quarterback comparison from today, Sam Howell, of course, Washington's quarterback against Tommy DeVito. The big difference is the interceptions, though, because the Giants scored 24 of their 31 points off of turnovers. So that was a big, helpful one, Shaun.
Yeah, no doubt. The Paisano took care of the bread. He took care of the ball. That's it. Sam Howell looks like he just rolled off of someone's couch.
He woke up like this.
But I tell you, Tommy showed his toughness. We saw it last week against Dallas when he was kind of getting rocked a little bit, refused to come out of the game. He took some big shots in this game too, but he kept coming back for more. And we mentioned the sacks. Look, some of them were on him, absolutely. Whenever you get a young quarterback, Vic, you've played with him, like you run your route off and you're waiting for the ball. You're like, come on. Like, it just takes longer. And that's why some of those sacks happen, because the young quarterbacks, they're not processing things at the same speed as a veteran because they don't have the reps and they don't have all of that consistency to go back on. So the timing of things is always different. Plus, you're seeing a lot of blitzes. There was a couple of cowboy blitzes, a couple of corner blitzes, as we call them, cowboys. And sometimes, though, that's what you're going to get with a young quarterback. You're going to get the Rolodex blitzes from the coordinators. Jack Del Rio's seen a lot of young quarterbacks, and he's seen that they struggle when you give them a lot of different looks, a lot of different blitzes. So that's to be expected, but you have to love the poise that he showed. Show a little juice, the Jersey juice.
The Jersey juice,
and I love that at the end, they're asking him about himself, and he's saying, look, it's not about me, it's about the team win. Getting results for everybody. Everybody's busting their butt. Everybody works hard. All I got to say is, Tommy, enjoy that train ride.
100%. It's great, and I think you see two young guys, obviously, right? Two rookies going at it. It's always fun to see those guys playing well and doing what the best that they can for their respective teams. But you look at Tommy, I think it's really because of the last couple of weeks, getting more and more comfortable, getting more and more reps under his belt, coming in, and Shaun, you know this, when you come in and you're the guy, and you know you're the guy, you're going to get all the one reps, you're going to get that full week of preparation, you kind of come in different. You come in feeling a little bit more prepared, a little bit more confident, and I think you saw that. I think no matter what happened throughout the course of the game, no matter how many sacks he was taking, no matter how many times he was picking himself up off the ground, he was confident in the play calls that were being put out there for him. He was confident in his receiving core and getting them the ball. And then when it was time to make a play, he was out there looking for his stars, right? Yeah. Saquon Barkley twice, just getting it, Darius Slayton down the field for a 40-yard touchdown. Like, he was looking for his guys to make plays for him, and there's something to be said about the comfortability of being the guy all week long and not have to worry about, am I going to get pulled? Am I the guy this week? Are they going to tap me on the shoulder on Thursday? Yeah. That just changes the dynamic of who you are as a quarterback, and your confidence level just goes through the roof.
Yeah, he came in, he knew he was the ace in this one, and he had the confidence of a fire-breathing lizard that may or may not be on a sweater right here. That is confidence that we look for from QB1 as the Giants get the win 31-19 out in Washington. But we've got much more to come after the break. We're going to hear from Saquon Barkley, Kayvon Thibodeau, that and more as Giants Postgame Live presented by Moderna. Is it a dragon? Is it a lizard?
It's on the screen. It looks a little more intense.
It is intimidating indeed. Giants Postgame Live presented by Moderna. Stay up to date with the latest COVID-19 vaccines because you've got no time for 19. Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by Moderna, continues after this. Hey, Giants fans, subscribe to the Giants Podcast Network for a variety of team podcasts featuring conversations with Giants players, coaches, fans, and legends, plus NFL analysts, business professionals, influencers, and more. It's available on Apple, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, and Google. It's the official Giants podcast network. Welcome back to Giants Postgame Live, presented by Moderna. The Giants got the win 31-19, tying the season high of scoring with 31 points on offense, due in large part due to the defense. Let's send it down to Washington, where Paul Dottino is with Kayvon Thibodeau.
We look at the stat sheet and we see 6 takeaways, we see 5 sacks, a relentless performance by this defense. What made it so special today?
Man, just playing hard. You know, it's a division opponent, so we knew it was all on the line, and it's a game that mattered, you know, so I'm happy we got the win.
What about the last drive? Now, Simmons comes up with the pick 6 to seal it, but what were you guys looking for there as you were trying to close it out?
We just have to stay together. You know, every time defense get in one of those positions, you know, you could either leave it close or you could finish it, you know, and luckily, Isaiah was able to finish the game.
How nerve-wracking is it that they did have the ball with an opportunity at least to try to attack your defense to get the winning points?
I mean, being a defender, that's what we love. You know, when they got to go down and score, that's another opportunity to get a sack, so I'm happy with it.
All right, now you had a couple today, which put you over double digits. The first time Wink Martindale as a defensive coordinator has had a 10-plus sack player. What does that say about you?
I mean, it's my first time having double-digit sacks in the NFL, man. It's a blessing. I just got to keep working.
What did you guys see in Howell today? When you were coming in, he had the most passing yards in the league, so you knew he was going to throw a lot. Did that make it any easier to try to track him down?
Pressure breaks pipes, so we just had to stop the run, and once we stopped the run, we knew we was going to be in a throwing situation, and we had to take that away too.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
10 sacks is kind of a tier that separates guys. Once you're over that point, you're in a different tier. What does that mean to you?
That's Kayvon Thibodeau with Paul Dottino. As we take a look at his numbers today, 3 tackles, 5 total, 2 sacks. As Dots mentioned, it puts him up to 10.5 on the season. He had 4 last year. It's still a wild stat that you mentioned that Wink Martindale's defense has never had a 10-sack performer right here. But Kayvon Thibodeau, incredible performance for this defense and this young man in particular after a couple quiet weeks, Shaun.
Yeah, Kayvon came to play, and you could tell it wasn't just the pass rush on 3rd down. I mean, he was active on 1st and 2nd down. There were a number of different times where the Giants kind of involved him in some twists, too. So great scheme-wise by Wink Martindale. You could see Kayvon Thibodeau continuing to get better with all of his craft. Like, it's not just his rookie year, it was all speed and quickness off the ball and just kind of using his raw ability. Now he's started to kind of put things together. You can see him using his hands. He's got some counter moves. He's doing a really good job with kind of slipping through the blocks. So a lot of big plays by Kayvon Thibodeau, some that don't even show up in the stat sheet because he had a number of harassments, as I call them, on the quarterback where he's hitting there. He's almost there. Not quite a sack, but definitely made an impact today.
Yeah, I think what I love the most is watching him and watching those highlights of him getting those QB pressures or even on those sacks. There's a new move in play every time. Like, there's a new hands move, there's a club rip, there's a rip swim. He's using everything in the toolbox now to get to that quarterback. You can see he's getting comfortable. He's starting to understand his role on this football team. He's starting to lead a lot more now. So I think all of those things are starting to come together for him at the right time individually. And shout out to him being a 10-sack performer. Wink Martindale can do a lot of different things with a player like that. And he's a guy that's going to be in that defensive fold for a lot of years to come.
Yeah. That's great. He even had a new celebration. I think he did the heart, and then he did the spider web.
I thought it was a proposal because it was like a heart and he was on one knee.
She's
like, I don't know.
My head was in a different space, I guess.
Listen, he's trying to be married to the game right here.
I like that.
Clearly.
He went on bended knee.
Yes, obviously. And one of the things I like, too, is he gave a hat tip to his teammates, one in particular, Isaiah Simmons, who had the game-clinching pick 6. Simmons is speaking now in the locker room. Let's send it down.
Yeah, it was just really like see ball, get ball, you know. I knew that he liked to result to his tight end as an early outlet, especially when McLaurin's taken away. So really just, doing my job and just making the plays that come to me.
Isaiah, you had a pick 6 with Arizona prior, and now this is the second time you've had it. How was this one different from the first, and does this one mean more because it's your first one with the Giants?
I don't take any play, for granted. Love this one, just maybe not as much as my other one, just because it was my first one, but, every moment, I just appreciate the man above just for allowing me to be able to make those type of plays, but, it's always a great feeling, just to be able to get a pick 6. I mean, interception alone, they're hard to get, so they're hard to come by. It's just that feeling is just kind of just like a different kind of high, just something that you just you just never want to get rid of. But you know, real appreciative of it. But like I said, just making the plays that come to me.
Was it in slow motion?
That was Isaiah Simmons, who had the game-clinching pick six, 3 tackles, pass defense, and of course that interception. Shaun, you saw that coming. We were all watching this one, Vic, and we were like, this has got to be a big play right here, right?
Yeah, he was due. And so was Sam Howell.
But he was due indeed. All right, we've got much more show to come here. Stay with us after the break. Saquon Barkley, that and more on Giants Postgame Live, presented by Moderna. As we roll on, Saquon Barkley, incredible performance by the running back. We'll hear from him after the break. Hey Giants fans, check out the Eli Manning Show presented by Panini Prism Trading Cards. All you have to do is subscribe to the Giants YouTube channel to catch all the new shows. It's the Eli Manning Show. Subscribe today. Welcome back to the show. Let's send it down to the locker room as Giants running back Saquon Barkley is with our Paul Dottino after the win.
So Saquon, you catch 2 touchdown passes today for only the 2nd time in your career, and we've often talked about how much of a passing threat you can be. How great was it to reach the end zone on both of those plays?
I felt great, especially on the first one. It's a play that I've been asking for a long time. So when we got it called, my mind was, I can't mess this one up. But it feels good to get in the end zone twice. It felt good to get a win. Obviously, you know, just being critical of myself. There's a lot of stuff I could have done better, especially my pass pro. Go back, watch film, and get ready for next week.
How much of a difference does it make for you guys to be able to play from ahead like you did for most of this afternoon?
It definitely helps, but you know, that can't be an excuse. Whatever the situation is, we got to be able to come together and find ways to win games. And we know in recent weeks we haven't been putting out a product out there for anyone to be happy about, but it just feels good to get a win again.
Tommy DeVito winds up throwing 3 touchdown passes, and I think a lot of people are probably smiling for this guy. It's a feel-good story.
Yeah, happy for him, man. He comes in with the right mentality. He's a confident dude from Jersey, so excited and happy for that. He got his first win as a starter.
How much do you think he's proving people wrong? Because after that first game, the perception was, oh, they don't trust him to throw the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think he's proving people wrong. You know, we know what he's capable of doing. It's the NFL, it's the National Football League. You don't get here by accident. He's a great player, and you know, he's stepping up and making a lot of plays for us.
What made you certain that he could play? Like, obviously, you didn't know, right? He was playing.
You don't know,
but what made you think he could?
For me, it was even the game where, you know, the first game when he got in, he might have not thrown the ball that much, but just the confidence he came in, the swagger that he has, I feel like it goes a long way. You know, especially for me, I'm familiar with going back to college, playing with a guy like Trace McSorley. You know, kind of had that same mentality, and you know, you can see it, and it shows when you go out there and play.
Let's say about the pitch out, the last play of the third quarter. I think you had negative yards before that. I mean, it almost seemed like you were, you know, get out of jail thing there, kind of like, you know, finally.
No, I think over, you know, my career, I've learned to continue to be patient, continue to trust it. You know, I feel like obviously a lot of teams' game plans come to the game. It's going to be able to stop the run. We definitely felt that from the beginning. Kind of similar to last week. You know, we didn't get the run game going, but the second half we got it going. We started figuring it out. That's credit to the offensive line. That's credit to the wide receivers, tight ends blocking. Also credit to the coaches coming up with a game plan that we could attack them. But this time we were able to continue to stick with the run and make some plays.
You talk about the first touchdown, you know, getting down the sideline and.
Yeah, I mean, it's a route that you guys saw all camp, to be completely honest. And I was able to get one-on-one. I knew that, you know, they were chipping me as I was coming out free releasing, so I lined up a little bit wider, and I was able to get one-on-one. Tommy did a really good job of holding on to safety and giving me a great ball, and we made a play.
You guys made so many big plays today, Saquon. I mean, a lot of people would be surprised by that, but offensively, you guys had a whole chunk of them today.
Yeah, I mean, I know, like I said, we haven't been playing the type of football we would like, but it's the National Football League, and you know, we still believe in ourselves, and we still think we're a good team and competitive team, and you know, hopefully this win shows that, and just continue to get confidence back in the locker room, and you know, start one by one and start stacking.
We saw the frustration kind of.
That's Giants running back Saquon Barkley. As we take a look at his numbers on the day, 14 rushes, 83 yards. All the positive yardage came in that second half, though. A 36-yard long 4 receptions, 57 yards, and 2 touchdowns as well, as we take a look at Saquon Barkley's day in the 31-19 win in Washington. But Giants fans, make sure, we've got more to come here, though, as we take a look at how great Saquon Barkley did. Make sure you subscribe to Giants text alerts, though, for breaking news, ticket offers, game day updates, and more. Scan the QR code on your screen or text 201-636-1569 to subscribe. Giants Postgame Live, presented by Moderna, continues after this quick break. Stay with us. We'll be back with more. As we turn the page to Week 12, the Giants are going to be back at MetLife Stadium. 3 consecutive weeks on the road, but they're back home Sunday, November 26th, 1 p.m. matchup with the New England Patriots. Patriots are on a bye this week, though. Giants, of course, coming off a win in Washington, 31-19 division win. Going back home to MetLife Stadium, you know you come back home to that home crowd coming off a big win like this one. It's going to feel good, Victor.
Yeah, energy level's going to be high. The team's going to be back in the building, back at home, going against a familiar foe that we all are aware and know about. And obviously the team, the Patriots, aren't having their best season or a season that we're accustomed of seeing them have. But you know one thing, Belichick's going to have that defense ready to play, and that offense is going to try to be opportunistic, kind of like how we were last couple weeks, trying to get something going, trying to get some energy back into the offense. But they'll be ready to play, and we got to be able to match that intensity.
Should be a great opportunity for the Giants defense to kind of stack wins here. Defensively especially, they've got to be licking their chops to this Patriots offense. They've been struggling to score points. The last time the Patriots played, it was in London against the Colts. Mac Jones threw a couple of awful interceptions, gets yanked at the end of the game for Bailey Zappi, who came in and did the same damn thing. So I know Bill Belichick scratches his head, but the interesting thing and the wrinkle with this one is Brian Daboll used to coach for the Patriots. He knows Bill Belichick really well. He knows Joe Judge and Bill O'Brien, all the guys that are responsible for the offensive game plan. This is going to hit close to home for Daboll. I know it's going to be one that he's looking forward to, and I know that handshake for him at the end of the game is going to be something he's going to relish.
It is such a small world in the National Football League, right? Everyone knows everyone to an extent.
Family.
It's a big football is family, and we know that. Now the Patriots are going to be coming off of their bye in this game, but the Giants are going to be heading into their bye. We talk about going into that game with a win, but how important is it to get that positive momentum going into the bye week after this Patriots game?
Big time. It's all about being positive going into the bye week, no matter what week it is, no matter where it lies on the schedule. You want to have positive momentum going into that bye week so that you have some rest, but you're also understanding your keys, understanding what the rest of the season look like, starting to look forward just a little bit so you understand what's ahead of you so you can prepare yourself for the rest of the season.
Yeah, the bye comes very late in the season. We were talking about that before, so it's been a long time. Everybody needs some rest. Players, certainly coaches as well. They need some sleep and some rest. Obviously, coming after the Thanksgiving, too, I'm sure that everybody's looking forward to spending some time. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Enjoy the holiday. And hopefully both Dallas and Commanders can just end in a tie. That kind of is like a loss.
We'll take that.
No. Don't eat too much turkey before this game because that tryptophan really kicks in. But you know what? We'll be here. We'll hope to see you out at MetLife next week for Giants versus Patriots. We'll be there in the stadium or right here on MSG Networks and the Giants YouTube channels for Giants Postgame Live. For Victor Cruz and Shaun O'Hara, I'm Madelyn Burke. Thanks so much for watching Giants Postgame Live. My dad's here.